All right, guys, we got an update on our troll situation.
Yeah, it's been awful quiet lately.
I don't think we've seen him in a while, so I don't think he's gonna bother us anymore. Did you hear that?
I did. It's probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Hammond Brake Shop. We're going to continue on work with the Trans Am. And on the last video, we did the floor pans on the driver's side. I still have the passenger side to go. But to conclude this part of the project, we're doing the drain plugs for the floor pans. These floor plugs aren't really designed for this floor pan exactly. So what we did, we just cut the ends of them off. They're supposed to have little tabs. He's cleaning this one up now. It's more like kind of like this one. The front ones is still there, and I still have one for the front. But the back near the passenger side floorboard, it doesn't have it at all. So they're not actually stock, they're not actually factory. So he's gonna clean this one up, and during that time, I'm gonna go ahead and weld this one in place. I think.
All right, guys, you know, it's winter here in Kentucky, so this has been one of our probably coldest days of the year, so bear with us with the space heater. This garage is, I don't know, somewhat livable as long as you got the torpedo going. So bear with the noise a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and try and burn some of this in. We're going. All right, avert your eyes a little bit. We're gonna burn it in a little bit. Here's what we did. So I tacked it in here and here, here and here. So if water does get into the figure, like, oh, I'm sorry. So here's what we did. I have it tacked here and here, here and here. So if the sunroof leaks, it's going to come down, it's going to into the floor pan here and drain through these side sections still. So it's still going to act like a factory floor drain, but since this thing had a hole instead of a slot, this is how we're going to allow the water to drain out of this car. And we got the front one up here to deal with. So he still has a slot back here, but the front has nothing. So we're going to let it slide in back here, and we're going to tack it in up here. All right, that's the game plan, guys. We've still got some cleaning up to do on this little floor plug, so give us a few more minutes. All right, so what we did was weld this guy in. So his tang went in here, and I just welded this end in, and all I do is grind all this down, vacuum it all up, lay it on my sound deadener. Sounds like a winner. So we're going to continue on working with the car. We're going to do the door pin bushings, and we have the top one knocked out, but we're having trouble getting the bottom one. So the best thing for us to do is actually just take the door off and do it that way. Those are what we're going to continue to do. All right. So we got the door off. Now we're going to try and get the rest of this pin out. And what I've done before, I just took the Sawzall and cut it in half to get the top one out. And it came, actually the top one came right out. The bottom one's giving me a little bit of fight though. Now we get something in here. I'm just doing something nice and short, stubby. Oh man, it's too hot. Almost got it.
Maybe you can just put a screwdriver away from the hinge off.
No, ain't doing it. But I need something just a little bit taller. Here it goes. This thing's really put up a fight. So I should just take him out.
There it is.
All right, now all I'll do is I'm gonna take it to the vise and drive him on out. We're gonna continue on with the fabrication of the door pin bushings. I got the door off right now when I was doing the pin bushings here. Got the other one part right here. But when we took it off, we noticed the door was a little on the flimsy side. So the whole channel right along the bottom is split off. I'm not sure what that is. Like, I know this car, the door that I got when I got this car was not the right door to this car because the car was blue. But this door is black. So this is a black door. So this is a donor door altogether. I am noticing an issue with it. It's like usually the skin just folds over here. And you see like this folded here. Usually it runs the length of the bottom of the channel. It's just like kind of like sleeves onto it. Well, over the course of time, probably rainwater, debris, probably the door fuzzies aren't very good on it anymore, or they weren't good, and debris allowed to land in the bottom of the channel. With like you ever see those things that come out of the trees? A lot of people call them little helicopter things. You know, they'll get stuck in the door. You know, pine needle stuff like that. Then you lay it inside the door up here by the window. And if your fuzzies aren't good, it'll fall down to the bottom. And if your car sits outside in the rain, water follows that channel and it soaks the whole bottom of the door channel, the frame right here. It's like it just sits here, it just gets stuck. Then it gets saturated and it's holding moisture up to the bottom of the door. And over time, I just allow that metal to split apart. So what I've done is I've taken this drill and I've worn it out pretty good. This is the paint stripper attachment to a drill. You can get these at the auto parts stores. I get this in the AutoZone particular. And I went through and took my screwdriver and a hammer. And it looks like this had seam sealer all the way across. So I had to take off all my seam sealers, take it all off, drive it off, because it's all hard and brittle, so it just broke off. So I did all that, and then I took that paint stripper and I stripped out all the rust that would be building up. And it helped that along. I used sandpaper. This is an 80 grit, just to really give a nice finish down there. So I'm gonna run through with my welder. This is just a cheap flux core, Harbor Freight deal, whatever. And I'm tack welding along the bottom of the door. And I'm gonna probably run through and do a good portion of this door down the bottom to keep the thing from being so flimsy. And I started off to hold everything in place. I got these clamps at Harbor Freight too. So I just clamped it up on the door, around the seal, held it in place. Then I just started throwing tacks. I got it tacked up enough now that I don't have to worry about the door separating any farther while I go through and throw these tacks on here. I am then going to flip the door over on the other side. And I noticed along the way, somebody did a little Bondo work here and there. I'm going to get as much Bondo out of this door as I can along the bottom. And I'm just going to weld the holes up. All you do with these little flux core guys, just roll it over to the lowest setting possible. Let's go look at this one. This is just a cheap flux core welder. So there's a dial down here. And you roll it over to 1, which is on this side over here. So he's rolled over. There's your maximum and minimum. So he's on the minimum and just on. And all you're doing is just blending the two pieces of metal together. So you put your torch here, let it start making the arc. These are the little circles. That'll get you the tacks that you need. So that is, don't start here and weld all the way across, because all you're going to wind up doing is warping this metal. It's not made of very much anyway. So space them out. So you know, maybe you start, maybe throw in the middle, come down this end, maybe throw one here, throw one down here. By the time you like circle back around to it, it usually starts to cool off a little bit. You're not throwing that much heat on it. That'll get you a good seal up on your door. I was looking at maybe replacing this door. Honestly, I think I could just repair it cheaper instead of buying another door. It seems good enough shape for what I need it for. Anyway, on to the next. I'll catch you on the other end when I start putting the bushings and pins in. We're gonna cap this video off on the. I'm gonna do two things today before we finish this off. I did go get that motor, that 350 Pontiac motor for this car. But now we're gonna put the spring back in. So this is the follow-up video of the door pin and bushing assembly. So there is the pin and the bushing. Those are just these guys like right here. Can't figure out where the, and here's the set of the pins. So I did them like the factory did. They pointed straight up. I'm not sure if that's what you're supposed to do, but that's what I did. You see the new bushings there. The new one there. While it was off, of course, I welded up the sheet metal where this door had a split from the sheet metal to the frame. I made it solid again. I just went all the way across with little tack welds, ground them flat. While I was at it, I don't think I showed this part. I gotta do a little bit of body work right there, just a little bit. This is where the door skin just had holes in it. A lot of these cars had it. It's common. Or they just have. Now that's just dirt from my hands putting this door back on. But I mean, it's not bad. Just a little body fill. We're done. And by the way, guys, when you're doing these doors, have help. These doors are extremely heavy. I had two other people out here for the longest time until we started some bolts and I could turn one loose. And at the end, it still took two of us to like the back end of the door, kind of maneuver it around while I was starting bolts up here in the door. You see them right there, down there, just starting these bolts. And that little channel in there is a movable slot. This is how you adjust your doors. I tell you what, I don't know how we did it, but we kind of got it right the first time. Check the door fitment on this thing. Doesn't get much better than that. So the last part we're going to do is put the spring back in. This is the GM spring tool, and it goes up in there. And it kind of holds the door open for you when you get it open. It helps you with the assist. I'm going to put this in since I don't have three hands to hold a camera and install and hold a light. So I'm going to catch you on the other side. Then after we'll go look at that motor. Quick update on the Trans Am. I think we found an engine for it. 350 Pontiac. He was like 34 minutes away from the house. So we're going to get a good deal on it. I've already been kind of doing the inspection. Looks like did spin this bearing, so we might be doing a crank job on it, oversized bearings. He looks a little suspect, so we'll probably turn him down 10 also. But it has the block, the crank, the pistons, the alternator, and there's miscellaneous parts over there. There's the cylinder heads. We'll have to do the what do you call it, the hardened valve seats on the exhaust, and that's it. We're gonna pack this thing up, put it with the truck, and I'll give a better inspection breakdown when I get it home. So we're going to follow up on the engine for the Trans Am. This is a Pontiac 350. I did pull some information. So here's the cylinder heads for it. And right here is a casting, is a 1.7. I looked this up, and this is a true 1968 Pontiac 350 engine. There are two variations of this engine. There's a high horsepower and a lower horsepower. I have the lower horsepower engine. The high horsepower is 320 and the low horsepower is 265. So this is the 265 horsepower engine. Now keep in mind, when it was 265 horsepower, it did come equipped with that 2-barrel carburetor. Now this is a limiting factor. The intake manifold, everybody knows the intake manifold can either give you power or take some power away, or change it in your band up or down. So by simply putting a 4-barrel manifold, a 4-barrel carburetor on this engine, you could see probably the gain of about 20 to 25 horsepower, which will put it in like the 290, 295 range. I would be okay with that for a while. The reason I'm okay with that being that situation is the high horsepower is 10.5 to 1 compression. I am not looking for a 10.5 to 1 compression engine. This is going to be a cruiser for this car. This car is going to see a lot of miles. So I would rather see the so the low compression is 9.2 to 1. So that's going to be 87 pump gas friendly. As long as you keep the ignition timing and on the safe side around 32 to 34 degrees. The pistons. So there's my bucket of pistons, my pulley. So this follows along with the engine build. So this is one step closer. I was gonna go LS with it, little 5.3. I was really leaning in that direction. However, this little motor kind of fell in my lap. I got it for a real steal. So I think I'm gonna be okay with just building this little vintage iron. All right, guys, it's getting cold out here. I think that's all I got for you today. Got the door pins and bushings installed on the driver's side door. We got it adjusted. It kind of lines up exactly where we want it to. I still need to come up with one of those striker and capture nut assemblies. I don't have one of those yet, but we got the floor pans welded in. We got the new 350 engine back there, ready to go. I just gotta take it to the machine shop, do a little work to it. I know, I still gotta do the passenger side floor pan. It's sitting right over there. It's laughing at me every time I go to work on it. I'll be honest, guys, I'm just not looking forward to it. I gotta get myself psyched or something, because I am not looking forward to doing it. It's some hard work, and drilling out all those spot welds simply ain't fun. Anyway, maybe that's gonna be our next video. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll catch you next time.